Wednesday, March 6th, 2019 was the worst day in the life of Michael Kalos of North Carolina. He knew that his line of work as a private inspector of rides at theme parks does entail some dangers and risks, but it never occurred to him that it would cost him his right hand. On that unfortunate day, Michael was dispatched by his employer, the firm Technow Serve, which is a subcontractor of dynamicattraction, to the famous and massive Carowinds Theme Park in Charlotte to inspect the thrilling Windseeker ride as the park was preparing for another season and scheduled to reopen on March 23rd, 2019. It wasn't his first time, and it was supposed to be an easy job. However, it turned into a nightmare as his right hand was severed while inspecting the ride. He screamed for help as blood gushed from his hand. He even thought that he would bleed to death. His life was turned upside down, and he never returned to normal. Losing his right hand led him into pain, suffering, mental anguish, and even the loss of enjoyment in life. His capacity to make money was also dramatically reduced, which only added to his pain. Stay tuned for all the details of the Michael Kalos' incident while inspecting the Windseeker swing chair ride at Carowinds Park. Carowinds is a 407-acre amusement park located in Charlotte, North Carolina, right at the border with South Carolina, where most of it is located. It has an official Charlotte address, and its business offices are located on the Charlotte side of the park. It features awesome, thrilling rides, including 14 roller coasters and a 27-acre water park called Carolina Harbor. The Windseeker is a thrilling, fun 301-foot-tall swing ride that features 32 suspended twin seats that spin around the central tower at the height of nearly 300 feet. It is a safe ride. However, a few parks that possess clones of this ride often reported that chairs hit one another and stalls that left riders stranded in the air for up to a few hours. Most of the minor incidents were blamed on the weather or minor electronic glitches. However, it is a wind-sensitive ride, which left many critics mystified by its name, Windseeker, because it's not safe at all to ride during windy conditions. Let's now take a look at the horrifying Michael Kalos incident in detail. On March 6, 2019, at around 9:15 a.m., in-house inspectors and maintenance workers at Carowinds Theme Park in Charlotte, North Carolina, were going about performing their duties and making sure that the rides and park will be ready for the next season, which started on March 26th. The park also uses outside inspectors and help to fill in the gaps and make sure that everything is on schedule, safe and operational as it should be. Michael Kalos was one of these outside inspectors. On the day of the incident, he was dispatched by the firm Technow Serve as per request to inspect the notorious 301 feet high Windseeker ride tower. When Michael arrived at the park, he was supposed to be escorted and accompanied at all times while inspecting the Windseeker, because it is quite high and someone familiar with the ride and any related issues must be present with him. However, Michael was informed that none of the park's employees can be made available to go up the Windseeker tower with him, and so he proceeded to the top part ride at nearly 301 feet high to do his inspections alone. Another two workers were present at the bottom of the ride. One of them was Caleb Bryan, who was at the base of the Windseeker checking a cable pulley, when suddenly he heard frantic, desperate screaming and looked up to hear Michael screaming, "My hand's cut off. It's bleeding everywhere. I'm scared. I need help real bad." Michael Kalos literally watched his right hand get amputated when it was stuck in the rod pulley that suddenly moved too fast upwards. There was nothing he could do but scream from excruciating pain. "Someone, please, hurry. I'm bleeding out." Caleb Bryan was the only person aware of what was happening, according to his statement. Michael was at the top of the ride. He was trapped for more than 5 minutes with his wounds wrapped in a rag. He was so high up, I think he started freaking out. I'm just glad he didn't pass out and bleed out. He had his hand on the pulley or something, and the ride somehow got tripped and started pulling up, and it caught his hand and it pulled it off or cut it off. The park staff immediately called 911, and records show that they still were confused about Michael's status and the extent of his injury. York County 911, do you need police, fire, or medical? Medical. Where do you need them to? Carowinds Amusement Park. And what's going on there? We got a man on the Windseeker, a big tower over 200 feet tall, and he's screaming up there saying, "Bring the platform up, he's lost his hand." Say that again? It's a construction accident. It's a construction accident. I believe somehow he's lost his hand or hurt his hand. He's up there screaming. One can only imagine the horror Michael was going through all the way up the Windseeker at 300 feet high with blood gushing out of his severed hand that he literally had to wrap with a cloth until help arrived. Soon the fire department and ambulance services arrived, and he was lowered to the ground and taken to hospital. He survived and healed, but part of his body and soul was gone forever. In the following months, he struggled a lot in every way imaginable, from mental and psychological stress to the inability to do many simple things in life. His line of work also required that he possess both hands, and now he had only one, which led him to also suffer financially. The following official investigation found several issues but did not identify these issues and rather issued a $42,000 fine to the park in November 2019. Unfortunately, Michael Kalos' incident was not exactly the center of the investigation. The investigation was conducted by the South Carolina Occupational Safety and Health Administration because most of the park is located in the South rather than North Carolina, where it has an official address. The investigator's report reads as follows: "This is a worker safety issue, not a rider safety issue. The riding public would not be exposed to whatever hazard caused the worker to sustain a hand injury today. To get to the area where the accident occurred requires an aerial lift." These results were disappointing for Michael, who hoped that the investigation would do him some justice, which it did not even remotely. In the end, Michael lost hope that he would ever get any justice because the official investigation failed him. Additionally, he was lost in a vicious cycle of who to blame because he was a contractor working for Technow Serve, which is a subcontractor that does work for the firm Dynamicattraction, which is a subcontractor that does work for Carowinds Park, which is owned by Cedarfair Entertainment. And not to mention, the park has an address in North Carolina, but most of it is located in South Carolina, and each side has its own courts and investigative authorities. Michael was soon fed up with the nonsense. He even struggled to find lawyers and finance the case, but with great determination, he finally did, and launched a lawsuit in a federal court in South Carolina. Cedarfair Entertainment, the firm Dynamic Attractions, and two unidentified individuals, probably the two workers who were at the base of the ride at the time of the incident, are named as defendants in the lawsuit. So far, Cedarfair Entertainment continues denying any wrongdoing in a response to the lawsuit. The suit also brought to light some new details about the incident. It showed that two workers at the base were unintentionally doing something wrong, or rather, too fast, which led to the amputation of Michael's hand. The lawsuit alleges that the Cedarfair employees that typically accompanied Kalos during the inspection were not available on that day. Two others were tasked with controlling the wire rope movement during the inspection process. It also states that as part of the inspection, the inspector uses a gloved hand to do a tactile inspection of the wire rope as it moves through their hands while employees control the speed of the rope. Thus, the lawsuit claims that the employees operated the wire rope at a speed that caused Kalos' hands to be pulled into a pulley, which amputated his right hand. The suit also alleges that proper procedures were not followed, which led to the injury. As of the date of this video, it seems that the case is still in court. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell button to get notified every time we upload a new video that will take you to the heart of the scenes and mysteries of some of the most terrifying incidents, accidents, disasters, and paranormal events from around the world.